Now this one is, again, this one gonna be, you know, what your father never taught you. Respect is everything. Respect is due to a dog. Now, my grandma used to teach me that. My mom used to tell me that. Respect, you know, respect is due to a dog. You know, respect is everything. Respect is everything. But had a man actually taught me, but see, when they did it, it was just talking. And as a boy coming up and you growing into a teenager, you don't want to hear that feminine shit, because it's like, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. You know, just the rebellious in you, the logical rebellion is like, well, you poor. Like, fuck is, you know, not that you don't love and respect your grandmom or your mom, but it's like, you know, what do you know? There's a piece of you that you listen, you take it in, but there's a piece of you that says, well, what do you know? Especially when they try to teach you about money or some shit like that. It's like, well, what do you know, right? But had my dad actually shown me about respect and the consequences that come from not respecting people and not respecting life in general, you see what I'm saying? And not to take away from my mom, because I think she did, you know, she went above and beyond trying to show me that. But I believe I would have connected more with, you know, a masculine authority figure in my life teaching me that type of shit. And a lot of this shit is as far as respect, I had to learn the hard way. You see what I'm saying? Now, I want you guys to understand something, right? As far as respect go, and this is a gem for the young guys coming up. You never play with a man's money, right? You never play with his wife, and you never play with his children. Men have, you know, there's this protection switch, this switch, this almost instinct to protect what, you know, what you love, or to protect what's yours, right? And a lot of the times when these lines are crossed, you see men snap, and you see men go into modes to where it's like you don't even think about the consequences anymore, and you do this out of, you know, the need to protect what's around you. And what you young guys have to understand is men are willing to go to the grave about their money, about their wife, mostly even about their women, even if they ain't married, or about their children. You never play with those. You always respect these, right? You never know how far people are willing to take things, right? You may say, let's say you disrespect a man, right? Let's say you out at a restaurant or you out in a store, and you disrespect a man, you cut a man in line or whatever, and he try to check you or whatever, say, hey, don't do that, and you disrespect him, right? You never know where he's willing to go in order to stand up for himself and to protect his people. Some people will kill you about their respect. It's a graveyard full of people who didn't understand that. There are men who are willing to kill you about disrespecting them. Good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it happens, right? And it's almost instinct for men to get in that mode. You never know where a man is willing to take it. So respect people, respect men, respect women too, respect life in general, respect everything. Respect is everything, and it'll get you a long fucking way, right? I saw a post, and what inspired this whole podcast was initially about respect, because I saw a post on Twitter that said, it's one of these fucking one of these nerdy pickup accounts that try to teach game and pseudo game shit. And it said, message to young men, never ask for permission. Said, never ask for permission. This post is not about women. Basically saying, take what you want from life. Now, I understand that in the context of you don't need permission to accomplish your goals and shit like that. But the way I took that, and the way a lot of people took that, was like, you know, you don't ask permission. You take what you want. If you basically be rude to get what you want, or be, you know, a brute to get what you want, and basically violate people's boundaries, right? Not in a sense of doing things bad, but just like when people have the mentality of I'm not asking for permission, they skip in line, they cut you off in traffic, they do all type of shit to get what they want, in lieu of I ain't gotta ask nobody for shit, I don't have to have manners, I'm gonna take what I want. This type of shit get people killed, right? And so I retweeted that with you gotta respect things, right? And you have to respect life, and you have to respect people. That's not the way to go. There's nothing wrong with asking people for permission to hey, you mind if I do this? In fact, right? In fact, I learned this in prison, because I used to be like this too. Like, you know, I ain't got to ask nobody for shit. I do what I want. I ain't waiting in no fucking line. I go to the club, I skip everybody. You see what I'm saying? On some dumb shit, right? You know, going to store, going to a restaurant with your homies, you just go right to the front. Fuck who been waiting, fuck what they got to do. I want what I want, and ain't nobody gonna stop me from getting what I need, right? So that's the way I took that post on Twitter. So I retweeted that on some respect shit, and it inspired this podcast, right? Because a lot of guys don't understand the respect thing, and they don't understand how far people are willing to go about their respect, aka Will Smith. We just saw what happened with Will Smith. That was a situation where Chris Rock didn't really disrespect Jada Pinkett. He made a distasteful joke about her condition or whatever, but you don't challenge up. You don't with a man's wife in front of his face. At that point, you disrespecting him, and people couldn't understand. I'm not gonna say people. It was mostly the nerds in this space, right? Couldn't understand the level of violence a man is willing to go about his respect. You see what I'm saying? And when you play with a man's wife, you disrespecting him. That's man code 101. So I'm not saying Will Smith was right for how he handled it, but I understand, because I've had to go to the extreme for my respect. You see what I'm saying? Way worse than what Will Smith did. But at the end of the day, people stopped playing with me. You feel what I'm saying? So again, it's not that he's right about that, but Chris Rock thinking, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. But to him, that's disrespect, because you're playing with his wife. You embarrassing him. You see what I'm saying? And people snap when you do that, right? And at the end of the day, once what's done is done. It ain't no, you can't tell people how to respond to your disrespect. You can't say, oh, well, you know, well, I only called you a name, so you should only call me a name back. It don't work like that. Some people put you in the dirt behind calling them a name, good, bad, right, or wrong. And you have to understand that if you want to survive, and you have to move in that way. I learned this, right? Well, I really, really learned respecting and respecting things when I was in prison, right? When I was in prison, when I first went to prison, it's different from the county jail. I was gambling, arguing, and doing what I want to do. But in prison, it's different, because you got guys in there who real killers. And they in there for life sentences, and they don't care two shits about stabbing you in your neck, or choking you out and fucking you, or excuse me, I'm trying not to curse, choking you out and ramming you. They don't care about that. Dudes in there 30, 40 years. Dudes been in prison since 1985, 1990. You see, and everything is about respect, especially in a place where people don't have anything but respect, right? When you in an environment where people don't really have much, respect is even 10 times needed, right? Give you an example. When I first got to my first cell when I was in prison, it's a cat, shout out to this dude. It's a dude from Bradenton. I'm not gonna say his name. Dude from Bradenton, 32 gold teeth in his mouth. It's like, man, listen, Jit. He was older than me, Jit, because I was young when I went to prison. Like, Jit, listen, Jit, for those who don't know, is a Florida slang for a young person or kid or whatever. So he's like, Jit, check this out. 3 things. This is how you survive in here. 3 things. Do you mind if I, excuse me, and my bad? Do you mind if I, excuse me, and my bad? Didn't understand that at first. So then he started teaching me about the rules and the ropes, and you can't go over here. You can't, when you walk through, you got to say, excuse me, or just don't, if you're going to walk through, say, excuse me, or don't walk through people's personal space. I seen people get their whole head bust open for walking through somebody's bunk. You see what I'm saying? You got, if you in an open bay, dorm or open bay pod, some prisons have open bay to where it's like, it's not 2-man cells, but it's like 70 beds all in an open thing, and the bunks are lined up back to back to back. So let's say if you walk through 2 people thing, dudes will get on you about that, because you're not respecting a person's space. You're not respecting a person's property. And when people don't have nothing and respect is all they have, they'll kill you about it. You see what I'm saying? So he started teaching me these things. And at first I was like, this is kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, it don't matter how crazy I think it is, because it's not my program. You see what I'm saying? I don't run the world. This world don't revolve around me. The program is the program, and I'm not bigger than the program. You see what I'm saying? If I want to survive, I have to follow the program. So me living like that for a few years taught me respect people's stuff. Now, excuse me, my bad. Hey, you mind if I do this? Let's say if I'm in a rush. When I was 19 years old, if I was in a rush at the gas station, I fucking walk to the front of the thing, throw my shit down and or pay for my shit. I ain't care about no line or nothing. And my mind was like, who gonna do something about it? But you know, when I went through that experience, I learned respect. So now, you know, hey man, listen, I'm in a rush. You mind if I do this? I pay for your stuff, or I pay for everybody's stuff right here, or pay for your gas or whatever. But if you mind, man, because I'm in a rush. And most people don't care, you know, so long as you being respectful. You bump into somebody, you know, excuse me. You know, you walking past somebody, you walking through somebody's shit, hey, excuse me, my bad. You know, you bump into somebody, you step on somebody's shoe, my bad, bro, I didn't mean to do that. You see what I'm saying? Before I didn't live like that, but when I was in a space to where I saw people literally willing to kill over it, you see what I'm saying? When I saw people willing to kill over it and die about it, that's when it clicked. You feel what I'm saying? You see people all day on the internet nowadays dying over dumb shit, over, you know, them disrespecting somebody. Before I move on from respect, right? Because I don't want to be too long on respect, but I was watching this, I saw a video where this dude smoked the husband and the wife, right? They was arguing over the lawn or something like that. There was a guy, right? And his lawn, something about it was something small about the lawn or something. And the husband that got smoked was, oh, you effing prick, and, you know, just disrespecting the dude verbally. And so the woman jumped in, the wife jumped in. Oh, she cursing the man out, disrespecting the man. She was like, all right. He pulled out his toolie, he pulled out his gun, and he smoked the husband, right? Smoked the husband. Then, right, the wife froze, smoked her. Say, B-I-T-C-H, I told you this, you should have shut your effing mouth. You should have shut your effing mouth. Smoked her, right? Smoked her right there on camera. Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Get an AK. Get an assault rifle. AK, I think it was an AK. Get an AK. Chop them down some more and make sure they done. Then he go in the house and do himself, because he like, I ain't going to jail. You never know how people where people willing to go about their respect, about you disrespecting them. Is that extreme? Yes, but there are a lot of people who are extreme. And I used to be extreme, and sometimes I still am. My motto was, I'm going to go to the ends of the earth about mine. I'm extreme. I used to say I'm extreme, no black and white, right? And so is that the right way to handle things? Of course not, right? Is that the right way to handle things? No, it's not the right way to handle it, but it is what it is, and people are willing to go to those lengths about this. You see it all the time with road rage incidents, right? People dying over road rage incidents where somebody feel disrespected. You don't have to move like that. And to the young cats, man, respect is everything. This is how you get through life. Respect is everything. Respect is just due to a dog. And when I say respect, I mean respect a person's mind, their property, their space, their money, their wife, their children. Respect life, period.